Hi, I am Jampree. Welcome to JP Trending News 247. New Zealand app. One woman channeled her anger to ensure buildings are safer. Others have found peace after heartbreaking losses. 10 years after an earthquake killed 185 people and devastated Christchurch, New Zealand, some of those profoundly affected are sharing their journeys. Anne Brower was taking a bus from the seaside suburb of Sumner into the central city when the magnitude 6.3 earthquake struck. Bricks rained down as a building facade collapsed, crushing the roof of the bus and killing all 12 others on board, as well as 4 more people nearby. Brower was in excruciating pain, pinned under the collapsed roof. The pressure kept building until her pelvis snapped and she passed out. Originally from North Carolina, Brower, an associate professor of environmental science, had been shaken awake years earlier by the 1994 Los Angeles quake when she was living in Claremont, California. In Christchurch, she awoke on the bus, realizing she was trapped and alone. "I thought, this is not an acceptable situation. This is not the story of my life," she said. "And so I did what any rational person would do, and I screamed at the top of my lungs." A man with bright blue eyes appeared. Others came, digging through the rubble, pulling up the roof with their bare hands, talking to her about fishing, asking her about her hopes and dreams, anything to take her mind off what was happening. Strangers took her in the back of a truck to a hospital, where she would stay for 2 months. After surgeries and rehabilitation, she was finally able to walk again without crutches. Brower sometimes wonders why she survived when all those around her died. A visit from the Dalai Lama to her and a half-dozen other survivors 4 months after the quake helped her put things in perspective. "You all have something to give," Brower recalls the Dalai Lama saying. "You just need to let go of the shoulda woulda coulda, and figure out what that something is." In Brower's case, part of the answer lay in making buildings safer. She was furious to learn the city council had inspected the building after a previous earthquake 5 months earlier and found the facade was unsafe, but hadn't enforced a fix. "Anger can be constructive," Brower said. "When Parliament started thinking about changing the Building Act, I said, right. Okay. This is something that I can participate in. I have a few things to say about this." Brower also remains concerned after touring the U.S. that cities from Seattle to Charleston, South Carolina, face similar problems with their older buildings, which can lend character to cities but also danger. In New Zealand, Brower wanted older buildings to be covered by building codes and for regulators to prioritize fixing those parts that would fall off first in a quake, like parapets and unreinforced masonry. But she ran into resistance. She wrote opinion pieces, did radio and TV interviews, but it seemed lawmakers wouldn't budge. She finally got a 5-minute meeting with the minister in charge at the time, Nick Smith, and he ended up agreeing a higher priority was needed for unsafe facades. In what lawmakers called the Brower Amendment, New Zealand cut in half the time owners had to get dangerous buildings fixed. Smith called Brower a true New Zealand hero. "I didn't get everything I wanted, but I got pretty close," Brower said. "And you've got to celebrate that." Please subscribe my channel, like my video, and share this video.